All right, we're live. Let's take a second to check our audio. How do we sound? It's a delay. Guess just give me a thumbs up and tell you when you think that we're good to go. Ooh, we can show comments on the stage. Yeah, we're trying a different system this time. It's a lot of fun. This is StreamYard. So if the level of quality is above what you're used to seeing on our live streams, then now you know why. We are just checking to make sure that YouTube has the correct audio. Thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so welcome to the June 2026 live stream. We want to go over everything that's happened since last month, and a lot has happened. So let's get started. I made a spreadsheet this time so we could stay organized. And so yeah, this release was really probably our largest release since the 1.0 release. All about integrations. We did a lot of integrations. We did RMM integrations. We did accounting, a lot of long-standing things that we've had a lot of people ask us for, like QuickBooks Live integration. We finally got done, and just it's all around been a release that's brought in a lot of features that a lot of people have been asking for. So we wanted to highlight them, including those that didn't get a lot of attention in the headliners, but there's a lot of quality of life issues too. So let's get through them. All right, so here's the overview. We're going to talk about integrations. We'll talk about self-hosted, which is also a really big new offering that we have. Ticket close rules, inbound email rules. Those are a couple of things that didn't get a lot of headliner attention, but also things that have been asked for from our customers for a long time. Smarter workflows, that's where some of these integrations are brought into the workflow system so that you can make those part of your automations, and a new version of mobile. All right, so first thing we're talking about is all of the different RMM platforms that we are now integrating with or we've enhanced with 1.2. So with Ninja One, that one we've had for a long time, but it got a lot of enhancements with 1.2. So we added some alert functionality, alert filtering, and it was brought up to date with everything else that we did with 1.2 and RMM integrations. Tactical support. Tactical is kind of cool because since we're open source and Tactical is open source, Tactical is the RMM that is available in the CE version. So that's one where you don't need to, you can just run the complete open source Alga and have an integrated RMM platform too. Then we did Level IO and also Huntress integration, which I suppose could be considered RMM, but that's a kind of a new I mean, we've had typical RMM, but the security monitoring systems we're very interested in integrating with as well. Huntress is the first one. Also super popular with our community. So I think we're going to show a couple demos, and I'm going to hand it over to Natalia so that she can show you some screens and see how we do this.
I have Hoodoo up and connected to my local. I can go with Hoodoo first. So let's start from where it begins. In integrations, we have a whole new tab for IT documentation. And when you have it connected, you can map your Hoodoo companies to AlgaPSA clients. And, oh, that's my local host because that's why all the names are fake. After you have your clients mapped, you can map your assets. Like Hoodoo has significantly like a huge amount of asset types, and you can try it to what Alga has, or you can create the same backup or whatever like what is suggested by Hoodoo. And you save this layout map. I already mapped some of them. And after the sync is done, this company will get all the assets that you have in Hoodoo. Right? Quickly import it into asset inventory. You can look at the details. You can create tickets for this asset. You can work on it or just keep track of those devices. Then this integration brings in basically all Hoodoo records for this company. So again, you can see all the Hoodoo assets and you can quickly open them in Hoodoo and view what you're used to. Then all the articles from Hoodoo related to this client, they will be in the client tab. And again, you can view them in Hoodoo. Right now, we're just pulling from Hoodoo. So as this is the first like round, this is one way. What else are we bringing in? The passwords. All the passwords that you do, you can just view here, reveal, and easily copy. Or you can open them in Hoodoo and like, roll your password or do whatever you need with it. But they are kind of organized in AlgaPSA client. Then in Documents tab, you also get a view of all Hoodoo documents, all the articles here. And you can open them in Hoodoo or just look at the list and see what's missing. So I think that's what we have for Hoodoo right now.
All right. Yeah, so I dropped Natalia on the screen, so she had to do the Hoodoo thing. But we that was a later on the documentation stuff. That's our documentation integration too. Also, really awesome. Hoodoo is one that everyone has been asking for, so that's pretty exciting. And now I'll do what I was supposed to do, which is show you show you tactical. Let's see. Let me bring up my screen now. All right. So like I was mentioning earlier, we did a lot of RMM integrations. Tactical is one of them. Level and Huntress. So I'll show you some of these. So um, the one that we have connected here is Tactical. And like I was mentioning before, Tactical is an open source RMM. It's pretty exciting. They have a very large community. So we'd like to make AlgaPSA kind of a first class citizen in that community too. So yeah, so we are uh, offering the Tactical RMM platform to the open source community, the CE version 2. Um, again, pretty exciting. Very similar to the other RMMs. So you put in your API URL and you connect to the Tactical server and put in your API key, and then you can connect and synchronize. Once you synchronize, it brings in the concept of organizations from Tactical, and you can map those onto your existing clients. And also contacts now. That's something that's brand new. I think that's coming to 1.3, Natalia. Oh, it's already been there. Okay, so you can map your clients and the default contacts, and that will bring the documents in, or the assets into the system. The assets will then be associated with those different clients. So devices, software. We also added support for maintenance windows and alerts and alert rules. So I'll show you those real quickly. Yeah, so when alerts happen in the RMM platforms, they can come in as tickets. And so there's a lot of additional functionality that you want when you're integrating something like that. One of those is, if the same alert's coming in over and over again, because there's a lot of different devices in your environment that are having the same event happen at the same time. You don't want your ticketing system to be flooded with alerts, for instance. So we have these alert rules, and so you can filter alerts, so you can filter them out so that they don't happen, and you can filter them out so that they're consolidated as well. Yeah, so one of the actions that you can take, of course, is to create the ticket. So when you create a ticket from an alert, of course, you want to select all the different settings for the ticket that comes in. So the default board, the default priority, and then we have you can make a mapping so that if it comes in with a certain particular severity, then it gets a corresponding priority in Alga. You can auto assign. You can take the title of the alerts that fire in the RMM, and when they come in, you can extract out certain portions of that so that those can become ticket properties as well. So a lot of RMMs, what they'll do is they'll have the maybe the company name in parentheses as the title of the alert. So we can extract that out and make better tickets in that way. And then finally, we have notification rules, and yeah. So those alerts that I just showed you are common to all of the different RMM platforms, and we have tried to keep all of them very similar. So the interface is the same. So if you go into here and connect a level, to the extent that we can possibly do that, we keep the interface the same. So with level, again, you put in your API key, it's a hosted platform, so you don't need a URL. Connect to it, then run your device sync, discover your groups, perform your mappings, and then set up your alert rules so that when alerts happen in the RMM, they come in as properly defined tickets. One of these that is a little different than the rest is Huntress. And I can't really show you Huntress here because it requires an API key, but very similar. You'll get a from the Huntress knock. If they detect some sort of security anomaly, they'll send tickets in. Those tickets can have matching rules, just like all the other RMMs, and you can use those matching rules to create tickets for you. So yeah, lots of really cool RMM integration functionality that we did for this release. And let's see, switch us back over here. And then we have a lot of other integrations too. So we have Hoodoo, which you just saw a whole thing on it. Very, very awesome on that one. QuickBooks Live, we've been getting this request for a long time. We had CSV export, CSV import, which was, it's a little bit tedious. So now the things that happen in your accounting platform will synchronize back into Alga, and then of course, if you create invoices in Alga, you finalize them, they automatically go over to QuickBooks as well. And we've maintained a lot of the functionality that we had already, or all the functionality we had already. So if there is, if you have exported your sales tax calculation to your accounting platform, which in most cases you probably should, that will then be synchronized back automatically into Alga. So your invoices will be updated in real time. Teams integration, we use the heck out of that here. That should also have a little preview tag on it because it's not available to the outside yet. We're still testing it, but we have bot support. It allows you to schedule meetings, and the meetings show up in Alga, in the calendar in Alga, so you can join your Teams meetings from there. I don't know, Natalia, what else does it have? I'm going to put you on the spot. There's a whole.
So we keep working and keep improving Teams integration slowly but consistently. Yes, I probably mentioned we have ability to schedule meetings, and we use it for our demos, for appointment requests. What is getting new functionality? It knows tickets, it knows timesheet, calendar. When we think it's ready to go, we will make it available.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we use that for all of our meetings here. Okay, and this is a big one too. A little hard to demo, but this is the self-hosted appliance version of Alga. So the goal here is to have two different kind of lanes that you can go into. One of those is we call it the essentials lane, and that is mostly the CE version with some additional niceties like the setup control panel, the automatic updates, the installation process without having to be a development expert. Those things we've added to the appliance as well. It's very easy. You just register, we give you a redemption code, you plug it in, and the entire platform will download. The two different, the other lane is the same as hosted. So we want a feature for feature parity for on-premise and hosted. So that's all of the integrations. It's the team support. It's all the inbound email. It should very easy to configure all that stuff. Another difference that there is between the two, just because it has to be the case, is that whereas we can make some things easier because we can use some integrations that we have configured in our hosted environment for email and for Google and Microsoft SSO. Those things you'll just need to create apps, and we have documentation for all of that. But at the end of the day, the on-premise hosted should both be easier for the community to install and use, because it's quite difficult to install Alga sometimes. And so it should be just essentially, you download it and it just pulls down everything and starts on its own. And it has fidelity with our hosted environment. So all of our services come down, and you're basically running the same thing that we run in our hosted environment, just not scaled up quite as much. And so that makes it easier for us to support it as well. So that's pretty exciting. Another thing that has been widely requested. All right, these are some of my favorites because these don't get a lot of attention, but quality of life things. Ticket close rules, inbound email rules. So we just turned the ticket close rules on yesterday, and we have a daily stand-up that we do here, and we use the workflow system, and it will create a daily stand-up ticket, and the entire team pastes into the ticket different comments for what we've worked on over the last 24 hours or across the weekend. And then we have a stand-up, and we go through all that every day. So daily, we've been creating these things for months and months now, and we turned the ticket close rules on yesterday, and around 7 p.m., all of our phones started going nuts, deleting hundreds and hundreds of tickets. But it's good because our boards are all cleaned up now. So it is exactly what you would think it is. Close requirements. Here, I'll show you. So I think it's under board. So ticketing, boards. I'll go to this general support board here. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. That would be helpful. Okay, so I'll go and I'll edit a service board. And here are the auto close rules. You can add multiple rules here. So for example, um, for different statuses, you can choose a close status. So if we'll say if it's in progress, the close status could be resolved at that point. You can set the days of inactivity as well. So, if something is stuck in progress, well, if it's not in progress, if it's stuck in new for 15 days, maybe you want to send it to a different status. And then if the ticket has gone idle, so um, there's been no activity on it at all, then maybe in all circumstances you would want that to close. And then there's a number of days where you warn before closing. So you'll send a notification out that, hey, we're going to close this ticket if you don't do anything with it. And then the other one is the close rules. So this is what you have to do before closing a ticket is allowed. So this was another highly requested from the community. First of all, you can turn close rules on for the board, and then they become active. And then you can select which rules that you want. So requiring a resolution comment. These are all self-explanatory. Requiring at least one time entry. Um, requiring checklist completion, which also brings up the fact that we added checklist to tickets, something that didn't even get its own line item. But for the checklist on the tickets, if you set the close rules, you can require that all of them be checked off before you can close the ticket. It's good for standard operating procedures. Requiring all the bundled tickets to be closed first, and then also just forcing the ticket to be properly categorized before you allow it to be closed. So you can ask people to set whatever these fields are, configure them before they can close it. I think that's it here. All right. Oh, inbound email rules. Another good one. Let me go back to my screen. Okay. So I think this one is under integrations and communication. Maybe not. Or email. Inbound email. I may need an email provider before I can show it, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah. Well, I can describe it. So inbound email rules allow you to do more advanced matching when emails come in. So in the past, we would have just a few ways to match on a ticket. On an email to create a ticket, the email would come in. We would try to match the email address of the inbound email against your contacts and your clients, and that would determine who they were assigned to. And the Um, Another way of matching is the mailbox that the email arrives on can be associated with a given service board. So there are many more ways that you might want to match on a ticket. And our answer has always been, well, use the workflow system. But the workflow system is kind of complex, and you don't want to use a hammer to kill a fly. So um, we added a lot of these different ways of matching specifically to the inbound email system itself. So you can create um, ways to match on the subject line of the email, and you can extract out of the subject line different properties, and this can become part of the ticket in a very similar way as the RMM worked when I went over that before. So you can, if your emails come in and they have a certain format from your alerting platform, then you can take that and you can extract. If you want to match up the client name against your client list, you can do that with fuzzy matching. That's another thing that's built into the email list. So if it, you can have aliases for one specific company. So if it sometimes comes in with LLC, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's a comma, sometimes there's a space. You can have different aliases for all the different ways that you're matching on that particular client, just to try to do as much work as you can in the system and to save all of the cleanup work afterwards. And then the content of the message can be processed as well. So if the email comes in and it's formatted in certain ways, we can extract with regular expressions or with simpler ways some of the properties from the message. We can use that to create the ticket. In addition to that, we have an AI classifier. So the AI classifier can read the contents of the email and read the subject line and make some sort of determination about that ticket. And that's really cool for things like auto dispatching um, and auto categorization, auto prioritization, um, just doing as much as possible before your technicians have to work on the ticket. Integration aware workflows. That's really taking all the RMM platforms that we have integrated with and QuickBooks and accounting packages and making the things that they do accessible from the workflow system. So um, maybe you want to, maybe if you see a specific alert that comes in from your RMM platform and you want to match on that alert and then reset a system via your RMM or run a script um, on your RMM platform against that alert. The workflow system is how you would do that. So I'm sure you've heard of other platforms out there. Zapier, there's a lot of them in the MSP community. A lot of that functionality is available in Alga out of the box. Also, this is pretty cool. I'm a little hard to describe, but we have a data store that's built into the workflow system. So when you're working on workflows, you can save like breadcrumbs to the data store. And then later on, when you have another workflow or later on in that workflow, you may pull from that again. And one of the reasons you might want to do that is because you may you may be uh, like mapping different things in Alga to other things in other systems. And you want to make sure that every time this thing is updated, that other thing is updated. So if there's a synchronization process, the place where you would store that is in this data store, and then there could be this automatic synchronization. So I give you a really, I'll give you an example of what we're going to use it for. So we want to make our uh, like basically what we're working on over the next quarter or so. We want to make that available on our website. So we have everything tracked in our project system, and we want to make it so that when things are updated in our project system, it will be shown on our website. So you can always see what our upcoming releases are going to look like to the best of our knowledge. And so we need to map the internal uh, projects and the project tasks that we're working on against what we show on the website. So it's a little bit of inside baseball. It's a little technical, but it's really required for a lot of the different types of advanced workflows. And we're just going to keep making these different parts of our system better and better. So the workflow system will just continue to be more powerful over time. And there's a bunch of other great things. I've spoken over and over again about the personal to-dos. I think that I care about this thing more than anyone else in this world. But I love the to-do system inside of Alga. I'm kind of a productivity, um, you know, just like always searching for the pinnacle of productivity, never getting there, never even getting 2 steps close to that, but always trying. So Alga is kind of we try to dog food everything here, and Alga has become my entire personal productivity platform. Um, Schedule page. Um, what is that? Do you remember that one, Natalia? I don't remember what that one was. Yeah, there's a lot of miscellaneous things that we did. Um, yeah, so just a lot of these are just kind of things that the system would arbitrarily keep you from doing before, but we allow you to do now. Like you couldn't put time on bundled tickets, which if you think about it, doesn't make a lot of sense because that means that all of the time that you spend on bundled tickets are it will be billed potentially against one customer. So that's something that we reversed and we allow you to put time against bundled tickets, for instance. And there's more stuff. I'm trying to remember what's 1.2 versus what's upcoming in 1.3. We can talk about that in a second though. Lots and lots of just improvements to the application every day. The things that bug fixes and hardening um, and uh, making Algo more of an enterprise platform that happens every day. A lot of the API work we do is in response to customers using the APIs. They'll come and they'll ask us how to do certain things, and whenever we find that we can make it easier or we can make it more intuitive, we we're enhancing that API all the time. Some of this is inside baseball, but also on the local appliance as well. All of these improvements go to the local appliance. And now we want to show you a demo of the mobile app. So let me get everything situated here.
Okay. Am I not muted now?
No, you're good.
Okay. So one of the big things is that mobile can be connected to running instance on your appliance when you are like hosting it yourself on Pro. Is it called Pro there? Um, you can scan QR code that will be on your homepage and connect to your server or enter your server here in this field. And the mobile app will be connected to your server instead of our hosted. And here are some changes that we made. It started from just 2 screens, tickets and settings. Now we have a whole menu. And at one point, I said drawers will never come to mobile. Now we have drawer for the menu. So ticket screen, got some colors with tags if you are using them heavily and just visually categorize tickets that is on mobile now. add tags inside of a current ticket, whatever tag it is, and you can filter by tags. Internet select. Yes, and it found 2 tickets with this tag. Then we added schedule view. If you have something upcoming on your schedule, you will get a notification. Your phone will remind you that something is scheduled in Alga, or you can just look at what do you have to work on for this day. Then time entries. Initially, you could only submit a time entry. Now you can view what do you have for this current period. So probably that was the previous screen about separate page for current period. Mobile changes leaked into the main app as well. Then we have all clients list, not just like creating ticket and selecting a client, but maybe you just want to find someone's phone number, someone's address, or view all tickets for this client. Oh, selected a bad one. Demo company should have some tickets. This again. Okay, bad luck. Then contacts list. You can scroll through all of your contacts that you have in the system. You can call them and maybe view their tickets if you're lucky. Of course, not this one. Let's go the other way. Let's set the contact on a ticket and then try to find ticket from that contact. That was, yes, it works. And the last screen is settings. It has not been changed. It's just navigation to it. You can go for this side menu. So we're trying to keep all directions moving, and when something is changing, and the big change for 1.2 was the appliance, we're trying to keep mobile updated and of course keep it available for all the versions.
All right. Awesome. I love the mobile application. Lots of notifications, but that's okay. That means a lot of things are happening. Okay. Yeah, so a lot in mobile. And I always think the challenge with mobile is making sure that the features that we bring over are the types of things that you'll want to do on your phone, and we're not trying to just reproduce the entire application in a mobile form factor. So we're very thoughtful about that. And that's it. I also wanted to talk a little bit about what we're working on for 1.3. So let me show you a few things. So we are taking a little bit of time to polish a lot of the screens that we have. Some of them we found, they can always be improved. So we wanted to take a step back, take a look at them, make sure those improvements are coming through. This is our invoicing screen. A lot of work has been done on the invoicing screen to make it more intuitive. A lot of the terminology that I would use before was related to the internal workings of the system. It would talk about service periods and reconciliation and different types of jargon. We've removed those. We've tried to make it a lot easier for you to work with. The UI is easier to understand, um, and a lot of the information that you need is available to you right immediately as you open the screen. And then also little quality of life improvements. It's not available here, but places where the screen can come up sooner. We've done a lot of work to optimize that. The ticket screen, we have overhauled the way that it looks. Um, we've tried to consolidate the number of columns so you don't have to scroll back and forth as much. We've tried to improve our use of white space and improve um, the sizing of different elements to make everything flow better. And we're just continuing to do that for the rest of the product as well. And we've got some big modules coming in 1.3 as well that we're excited about. But I don't want to scoop us just yet. Some of it may or may not happen in 1.3. So, and you'll have to just tune in on Wednesday. I think Wednesday is when we're releasing 1.3. Maybe this Wednesday, maybe next Wednesday, but it's coming very soon. And I think that's it. So we can pause for a second to see if anyone has any questions. And if not, then we can call this for the month of June. We'll be back end of July. We may be from a different location by then. We're changing offices, so that's something that we have to do behind the scenes here. So you may see different background, and starting and using this platform is part of the way that we're getting ready for the big move. So anyway, thank you to everyone for everything you do. The community is growing very rapidly. And if you like AlgaPSA, go talk about it. Talk about us in Reddit and in other Discord channels and spread the news. We think it's a really special platform and the world deserves to know. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.